you're going to need to lead developers and coders to manage your businesses because so much is going online, so much is going virtual, so much is going to be AI based. And I think that, so point one, you need to start learning to understand code.
I think I'm gonna disagree. Respectfully, oh, she's a big wig and I'm just me.
Hey, I was
But
about to say,
it's like a person in
700,000
the
employees.
streets is listening to somebody that's in the C-suite say something, and the person in the street says, that's not what's going on in the streets. This business podcast, the Two Business Guys Mastermind, uncovers for you secrets and share tips and tricks to entrepreneurship as they mastermind on how to have startup, operational, and overall business success so that you can go on to get better results. Enjoy. So, Rob, really, what should we be concentrating on? What should business people be doing right now with all that stuff that's happening? The world is seemingly blowing up. I'm hearing words about the AI recession. And you had
Yep.
somebody comment. So tell us, what should businesses be
Hmm.
doing right now?
Yeah. So I was listening to an article recently, or it was an interview actually with Julie Sweet, and she is the chairman CEO of Accenture. Used to be
Mhm.
Arthur Anderson consulting firm,
Mhm.
workforce development firm, all the rest of those types of things. One of the things that they do, they have about 700,000 employees now. So she was talking about, workforce development, training needs, reskilling needs, all the rest of that. One of the things that she was saying is that if you are in business at all, if you're in anything in business and um, uh, what's the word? Bringing product or bringing things to market, all the rest of that type of stuff. He said that coding and understanding coding languages is going to be as necessary a skill in the 21st century as literacy was in the 20th century. And so, for those of you all that don't remember, a lot of America was illiterate back at the turn of the century, 1800s to the 1900s. And literacy, schools, everybody going to school, compulsory education, everything is one of the things that drove the American economic engine in our ability to become the number one dominant producer in the world. And what she said was understanding coding language, not being able to code, not sitting there and being like a computer
Oh,
programmer or a
okay.
video game designer, none of that type of stuff. Not that, but just your understanding of what the languages are, how to speak them, how to use them, how to lead people, how to ask for what you need in them, all the rest of that type of stuff. That type of coding literacy was going to be necessary in the 21st century for business owners even more so because you're going to need to lead developers and coders to manage your businesses because so much is going online, so much is going virtual, so much is going to be AI based. And I think that, so point one, you need to start learning to understand code.
I think I'm gonna disagree. Respectfully, oh, she's a big wig and I'm just me.
Hey, I was
But
about to say,
it's like a person in
700,000
the
employees.
streets is listening to somebody that's in the C-suite say something, and the person in the street says, that's not what's going on in the streets, right? So I liken it to
Yeah.
that kind of pushback.
Yeah.
It's like, but here in
Yeah.
the streets, here's what's going on. And
Hmm.
I probably have, I don't know, maybe 4 to 5 newsletters that deal strictly with AI.
Hmm.
I look at on a daily basis, probably 4 to 5 to 6 different people in the AI space.
Hmm.
And what I see coming is I'm not going to need to do any of that. I'm not going to need to do that. I'm going to have to be aware that it's being done, but I'm going to have, and this is where I wanted to kind of take this conversation, everybody. I think business owners should be thinking about generative AI, which is different than regular AI. So that's like the very grown up version of
Hmm.
ChatGPT.
Hmm.
ChatGPT says,
Hmm.
hey, put some stuff in there. I'm a large language model. I will do X. Whereas
Hmm.
I was literally using one of my AI agents, and I use Harper AI and I use a couple other ones. And I just said, Harper, look at this page and tell me what the heck are they talking about. And Harper says, okay, because it can read the page. This is the agent.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Mm-hmm.
I says, okay, what are they talking about? I says, pull out all the keywords from this page. Let's just,
Mm-hmm.
so it just, okay, here are all the keywords. And I says, now create me a sequel to these. What should I be talking about on top of that? Now,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to know, I don't even have to have written the page. I just got an
Mm-hmm.
AI agent that I now can employ to go do that
Yeah.
for me. Now,
Yeah. No, I
so
don't disagree. I don't disagree with
that
you. And
I don't know a line of code,
but I will disagree on
any of that.
this point. But go ahead. I won't. Yep.
So
Yep.
this is where I'm
So here's
thinking,
what I will say.
and generative AI is different. And we're seeing just
Yeah.
slightly parts of it now. It's nothing like we have ever seen in terms of, and it's going to be way bigger, in my opinion,
Oh yeah.
than
Oh
the
yeah.
internet.
Oh
In
yeah.
my opinion,
Yeah. I
once
agree
they
with
get
you.
more
Now,
compute power.
here's what I would tell you. Here's what I would tell you. There were still illiterate people in the 20th century, and they still worked jobs, and they still made a living, and they still, some of them played in the NFL. Right? Right? The famous stories about dudes that couldn't read because they, even though they had college degrees, right? But here's the thing that I will tell you, and so something to give you, because I think everything Randy just said about AI, just for y'all watching, is amazing. I agree. Something that you don't know, I don't think we talked about this offline yet. But one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm working with a group. I'm taking a class to become an AI certified specialist to train groups that are trying to build AI. So everything you're talking about, right? The person that builds that is, it's a whole different beast, right? There's data scientists, and then there's how does the AI learn, how does it do all this type of stuff, and it's a lot of stuff that we're learning. One of the cool things about understanding it is this: if you're running a business and you don't know what AI can do, you have to trial and error it to figure out, oh, it can do this, and oh, it can do that, and oh, it can do this, and oh, it can do that. And then once you figure out, oh, it can do these kind of two, three, four things, now you can start to make that work in your business, and it can help you. And it's incremental growth, it's linear growth.
Mm-hmm.
But in just this one course that I've learned, and there's a couple other ones, there's a generative AI course that I'm going to take, there's a quantum learning course and a machine learning course. There's a couple other things that I'm going to be taking, because part of our conversations on AI was like, I need to learn this. I need to get
Mm-hmm.
ahead of the curve on
Mm-hmm.
this thing. Here's what I can tell you: the business applications for AI, right? So for example, just to give you an idea of what this looks like, Netflix employs AI professionals, and they're getting paid $400,000 to $500,000 a year as AI professionals. So Netflix has one of the best kind of generative AIs that exists. What it does, and it's really not, it's a oh god, it's a content filtering AI.
Mm-hmm.
And the content filter is, it takes your likes and dislikes and the things you watch and all the rest of that, and it puts it into all of the billion people that they got on Netflix and all, and it makes recommendations that are better and better tailored towards you.
Sure.
And it's able to do that because there are people behind the scenes that understand this stuff, that again aren't writing code. They just understand how to tell the people who are writing the code what to write and how to write it, because they understand what it can do, because
Sure.
they're literate
Yeah, they're
on it.
machine
And so I
learners.
want to be very,
I get it.
I want to be very clear. I think what you're talking about, Randy, is I don't want to do the work. You don't need to do the work, but you need to speak the language so you can talk to the people that's going to do the work. And I'll give it to you like this: if you remember back in the day when there was the trope where everybody's housekeeper was some Latin person from Central America, that was the whole idea in Southern California. Everybody had a Latin American housekeeper. There's a different output that you can get if you speak Spanish when you got a Latin housekeeper than there is if you speak English and the housekeeper speaks broken English.
There's something to that.
For all y'all out there that's speaking broken English while you trying to have your AI do stuff,
Yeah.
that's okay. You good. But
I understand.
here's another stat that I want to throw at you that I heard. They said that AI will replace 80% of sales jobs in the next 20 years.
Rob, get this, to your point, I did a workshop for SBDC the other day. And in this work, here was the title of my workshop: Using AI in Social Media for a Small Business. Now, that was just my on-ramp, because what I really wanted to talk about, and it was standing room only, bro, right? Because they did a good job of getting people to the thing. And they ushered people from that in a big event that they were having. It was like a resource fair or something like that, to like the rooms. And it was, and the beautiful part was I was in a room that I teach in anyway, because it was in the same building. So I knew all the little, dips in the floor and all that kind of stuff. And I was in my element, brother. But anyway, so my point is that in this workshop, I talked about some AI that they knew and some stuff they had never even heard of. Now, I've gotten business from that. I've gotten book business and everything. So I go through this list, man. But when I was compiling it and coming across it and looking at it, I discovered one, and I talked about this one, that actually Klarna. Have you heard of the retail spot Klarna? I think we talked a little bit about that. And they use basically open AI. Now, they pay millions of dollars. But as a result of spending millions of dollars, and they're kind of going right, they have the kind of clout where they go right to OpenAI and says, I need this. And OpenAI says, no problem. We got you. Right now. And then, so anyway, 700, they were able to use their AI to do the work of 700 customer service agents. 700. So in the room got quiet. So I don't know who was in customer service. And get this. So then I go and show a couple of examples of an AI that listens to you and then answers you. So now, wait, what? Yeah. And that's coming from your buddies over there at Grok. This is Tesla and Grok. It's trained in a different way. So, but anyway, so you combine that with this, and somebody calls in on the phone and they're talking to it, but it's trained on your stuff. So your SOPs, all your information, all the things that you're supposed to say, all the things you're supposed to answer. I don't need that person over there I don't care if they are in India for $7 an hour. I don't need it, because I'm paying this AI. I have someone that can engage with it. I literally went and bought the other day a bot maker for my business. And just so it sits on my website now and can answer questions based on, here are things I think people might ask. Here's enough information for you to like and answer questions for them.
Exactly. Tony Robbins, I was just on a event that he did recently. He just released something. He literally has a Tony AI where he's put in all of the business coaching and all of the stuff that he's done from different programs. And it's an app. And if you're in the coaching program, you can type in a question and you'll get a Tony Robbins answer.
Yeah. Trained on his style. And in certain cases, we can go right over there to Hey Jen. And I was telling somebody I got some business from this. So I'm talking to him yesterday. And they says, hey, how can and I can't say what kind of business, but I says, you can make that animal on there. You can make its lips move. Like, what? I says, yeah. I said, so now you have an interactive people come to your website and they interact with the animal. Imagine that.
Now, here's what I will tell you. And this goes back to the point that I made at the beginning. I think you'll agree with me once we get to the end. And that was this. All of that is coming out. It's going to be in the marketplace. Now, you and I, we've built websites. We've dealt with ChatGPT from the beginning, from the onset. We've been kind of at the vanguard of a lot of this stuff. We understand a lot. I would say more even than the average person dealing with computers, right? I was writing HTML websites back in 97 when I was in college, right?
I was not, but I know some stuff
now. But you've done more over the last 10 years than I've done, so you caught up, right? But in that space, for those of you all who just understand how to use your computer, who understand Facebook, who understand Instagram, all the rest of that, but you don't speak the language. I think the one thing that we have to be very careful of and be very wary of for ourselves is you and I are literate in programming, planning, right? Computers, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I may not want to do the stuff, but I can build a website.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like doing it, but I can do it. I can build a landing page. I can edit video. I can do a lot of those things. I'm literate in these things already. And what I'm saying is, for us, we know what we need Chat GPT or whatever AI or whatever to do. But for those of you all that are out there that are listening, that haven't started using these things yet, that haven't started testing and training and having conversations, I've written blog posts, I've written emails, right? You hit me to another one that just popped up with our other partner, the voice note, right? That one, amazing. I've already voice texted to it and had it write emails and had it write to-do lists and had it do things. And then I could take that and put it in Chat GPT and have it do something else with another thing that I've already pre-programmed. So like if you're at that level where you already know, then this ain't for you. Don't worry about it. You're already relatively literate. You're gonna be good. But if you're listening to everything that we talking about, you like, whoa, wait, what? Huh? You did what? Oh, I just went on Chat GPT and like had it write an email for me. I haven't done like 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 papers and this and that, right? If you haven't used these things, the AI revolution is happening. And coding from websites to landing pages to funnels to the entire interaction, your customers are being trained to not deal with people before they're ready to buy, and to even not deal with people until after they've bought. And if you don't know how to create your business in such a way, if you don't know how to lead the people that are going to create those things so that you don't have to interact with them, remember, 80% of sales jobs are going to go away. What is a salesperson's job? Salesperson's job is to uncover value of a project or a product in such a way that it makes the person feel like they want to give their money for that thing. That's going away. As a person-to-person thing, there's going to be a lot more interaction with person-like things.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't care who I interact with
like
nowadays, as long as I get my answers.
Exactly. Customer service centers and call centers are actually what created this beginning, because I don't need to know the person. I just got to call a number and it's going to be somebody that's going to treat me nice. And guess what? AI can do that.
Yeah.
But it can only do it for your business. You said something really, really powerful. And if you can program it, if you can put all of your SOPs, all of your stuff, all of the information, again, you got to be literate enough to know what it needs so that it can do what it needs to do. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay somebody that is literate.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the key, and this is what I teach all my leadership people. If you don't know enough to lead that person, then you don't know enough to make sure they're doing the job right.
Well, I love that, Rob. I do, because that's an opening for people in your space. And everything, and if you notice, everything's got serial AI. It's like, what, there's AI in my cereal? I mean, so leadership in the age of AI, in my estimation, because who am I leading now? Given the fact that, okay, people are trying to, CEOs and all these folks, man, they got this real estate and all that kind of stuff. They've been trying to force people back to work and all that kind of stuff in the age of AI. Then they get back to work and they get laid off. Right? Mm-hmm. We're seeing a lot of that. So why don't we just leave people alone? Let them sit at the house and enjoy their life or whatever it is, right? But what about leaders? Who are they going to lead in the age of AI? I think, and this is just a test, man. I think you should just test this. I think you should just float that one. We do leadership training in the age of AI. Just something like that. And then, because now, and then you can bring in your team of people that know a little bit about this, whatever it is, right? They're going to need help. And I think they're going to need a lot of help, because
now you understand why I'm studying AI.
I'm saying, I believe that they're fearful because, and we saw this in a couple of statements that some AI folks said. They said, you're only going to need 3 people in your company. You're going to need the CEO, maybe a COO, maybe a CTO. So CEO is just going to be kind of thinking of what we should do next. COO is going to make sure they get it done. And the CTO, right? CTO is going to be the person that gathers all of the software and the AI and all that stuff. Then Sam Altman, I think, hopefully, Sam, I'm not misquoting you here, but said that, yeah, we're going to see a one-person billion-dollar company. One
Hmm.
person billion-dollar company
Hmm.
soon. He
Hmm.
said that. I went over, I got this site called, there's an AI for that. Or maybe it
Yeah,
used to
no,
be
I
an
agree
app for
with you.
that. And I went over
It'll
there and just
definitely
started
be that.
looking into that. A
It'll
one
definitely be that.
person
And here's what I
billion
here's
dollar
what I will
company.
caveat on top of that. That person will be fluent in coding language.
Perhaps. It may come from the coding industry because they know what, yeah. But I think it's going
And
to be
again, I
some,
didn't say
I think
that.
it's
I
going to be
didn't be clear.
some
I didn't say they're
lazy
going to come from the
entrepreneur.
coding industry. Yeah, I didn't say they're going to come from the coding industry. Hear me clearly.
You
I
say he's
said they
going
will
to,
be
no,
fluent
I don't
in the
think so.
coding language. As a matter of fact, I don't think it'll be a coder. I think, like you said, it'll be an
Yeah.
amazing entrepreneur that is fluent in code language.
Mm. Okay, y'all heard it here. Put something in the comments. Who do you think is going to be right on this? I don't think they're going to be fluent in coding language. I think they're going to just know how to gather resources. And I think they're going to know how to leverage the utilization of generative AI agents. Now, I think that
Mhm.
here's an example. I never liked Zapier. Sorry, Zapier, but I tested you a long time ago, and I was sending zaps, and they would break and all this kind of stuff. And if some zap breaks in the middle of all the stuff that you got zapping, you got a problem, right? So
Yeah.
so, but Zapier has been killing the game behind the scenes, and I've been watching them. So I may
Mhm.
become a fan in the future because they've been in the AI space. They've been basically saying, you don't need to go over to Chat GPT and create a custom GPT. We got you. Now they're basically going to find a way to monetize it in a different way, right? Now,
Mhm.
Chat GPT or
Mhm.
OpenAI, they've already moved on. They're saying, you know what? I think we're going to integrate search into what we do. So now who does that now? Perplexity. Perplexity does that right now. I love Perplexity, man, because it has that added component of search and also
Mhm.
answer engines. You see
Mhm.
where I'm going
Mhm.
with this? So now
Yep.
OpenAI says, I think we're going to go over there. Now, for Google is getting smashed. Their business model is changing. And guess what? People that own websites and blogs and all kinds of, they're suffering because now
Yep.
Google is saying we got to maintain our money. We got to maintain our dominance in search. So now they're going over to big places like Medium and Quora and Reddit. And actually, they got a little agreement with Reddit. So what's happening now? Small folks that
Mhm.
got the little blog, they're not ranking anymore. Their sites are being de-indexed. All of that stuff, right?
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
OpenAI comes along and says, I think we can do better. Next thing you know, this is my opinion. And this is what I believe, within the 5 years, Google will be like MySpace. I said that somewhere. I
Here's
don't know
what
if we were talking, but it's going to be
I
like
like. I like.
MySpace.
I like.
Google will
I like what
be
you said.
like MySpace.
I like what you said. No, here's why I push back. In 5 years, Google will be like Bing.
Uh, mm, mm. So Bing will
And the
have Bing is
Bing
already
will have
talking
turned
about,
into Google.
yeah,
Bing will have turned into Google because Microsoft owns OpenAI and they also own Bing.
well, they don't
And
own them,
when
but
Bing entered,
they
you
did
know,
give them like multi-billions of dollars. Anyway,
they are the majority shareholder.
it's like you work for us. Here's 15 billion. So
Exactly.
kind of
Just
do
so
what we
kidding.
say,
But
okay?
in that space, right? And there's already a Bing integration with OpenAI that they got in the works and all the rest of that type of stuff. But
Oh yeah, yeah,
one
yeah.
of the things that will happen is um, um, Microsoft will get its resurgence, I believe, into this space that you're talking about that OpenAI is in, and Google will be the also ran kind of like Bing was with Google, where even though it's ubiquitous everywhere, it's on every computer. Don't nobody use it; they just go straight to Google. And then I think that Google will buy one of the other players. That's my bet.
I'm in agreement with that, especially given the fact that, like I say, Perplexity and all these other places are just like nipping at their heels and doing a good job. I actually, man,
Mhm.
quite frankly, I go to Perplexity
Mhm.
and I don't go to Google like I used to. And everybody is saying that.
Mm,
I just don't use the search engine
interesting.
because I'll go and say Perplexity. I not only want to see the answer, but where did you get this answer? Because it'll show you that. And then it'll also give you, here are some next questions that you might want to ask. So I'm like,
Mm,
okay, click. Right. And then it shows me that. And I go, that's pretty interesting. But all that time I'm
nice.
off Google. I'm off search. Now you let OpenAI, and here's something, man, that a lot of people aren't talking about this. Google would love to charge us for search. And they had even talked
Yeah.
about that. They floated, I heard this, it was like in the streets, and they floated we're gonna maybe charge for our AI, blah, blah, blah. And people were like, what? That's like having a free phone number, and they'd be like, you gonna charge me to have a phone number? Right?
Exactly.
But
They messed up because they
OpenAI
cultured everybody
already
to not get
has you for
charged.
20 bucks. Now they says, oh, and by the
Hmm.
way, we're coming out with a Google-like feature, search. So, so wait a minute. You're already getting money from
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So they already did
Yeah.
it.
Google would be good. Google would be smart if they went and branded something else and then had a Google feature and it was a company that they already owned and did the same type of thing.
Yeah, the Whirlpool Maytag moment, right? So, and Google's sitting on a whole bunch of
Exactly.
money, a whole bunch of cash. And somebody was telling
Exactly.
me,
I mean,
somebody
they still
argued
own
with me.
YouTube.
I mean, they own all kinds of stuff, but YouTube is becoming kind of a place to be, right? All this junk on there, and people from
Yeah.
traditionals, they're going on there starting up stuff, trying to get that money. Don't get me wrong, I got like
Hmm.
several channels on YouTube, and I'm doing what I can, but that ain't the point. You start seeing a
Exactly.
lot of
Like
these
y'all should be watching
areas.
this on YouTube right now, just over a click.
Yeah, you see all these people, man, that are coming into these areas, and you just go, this is becoming a cesspool of nothingness.
Yeah.
So, what's going to come out and entertain me and excite me in a whole different way? Facebook thought it was going to be metaverse. It was
Here's the
not. I
thing, and
wouldn't
this is
count them
again,
out, but
I agree with you. No, not even that. And this is, just last note for y'all that are out there, because we've gone around a lot of different places, but the one thing you want to pay attention to is how people are able to pivot. Metaverse, as you said, is one of those things that, for what it was touted to be when it first started, is, you know, we a lot of people say it's a flop. But again, in that same interview that started this conversation, when I heard the lady talking, Julie Sweet talking about what Accenture is doing, what they are doing in the metaverse, which is, I think, phenomenal, is what they have done. And I think this is where the metaverse is going to go. The metaverse is going to be the event space of the future. What they're able to do in the metaverse right now. If you ever saw Ready Player One, the Steven Spielberg
mhm,
movie,
mhm.
that type of idea, what they're able to do in the metaverse now, what Accenture is doing is they may have people all over the world getting hired for the same job. They can put all of those people, whether they're co-located or not, and they did this during COVID, right? They would put 30 people in a room to do your training like if you were at the office, and you can see all 30 people in the room. But the way that it's set up is, you only hear, like, you're not hearing all 30 conversations going on at once. If you're near this group in your metaverse space, you hear these three conversations just like if you was in a room. And if you want to focus your attention and you look over here, then you can focus in and hear, or walk over. Like, they are really recreating areas. And so, in the training, in the development, in the knowledge sharing space, in schools, in universities, right, in all of these types of spaces, I think the metaverse is going to kill, because one of the things that it does is it's going to eliminate travel times for things that are not necessary to be in person.
There it is. So
And
get
now
out of the
it's
commercial business, commercial
right.
real estate
Commercial real
business
estate
now.
business. Right. And now what it's going to do is they're going to go after the big ones, because it's not going to be the little mom and pops or anything like that. It's going to be like, I think I have a colleague that she used to be the safety director at Miami-Dade College. Miami-Dade College had 105,000 students. Miami-Dade Community College, right? This is Miami, down in Miami. They had 105,000 students. I think Mesa Community College does that. Arizona State has, something stupid like 110,000 students,
Mhm.
like online students or whatever the case may be. These groups that have all of these disparate bunches that are on doing online classes right now, and you know the deal. Zoom is nice, but Zoom doesn't give you the same in-person feel. I think the metaverse, I think that's where they pivoted to, and they're getting buku dollars from the Accentures of the world. Like I said, they got
Yeah.
Accenture has 700,000 employees. I think they hired an extra 300,000 employees from 2019 to now.
See, there's something interesting. So, to our original conversation or original topic, what should businesses be doing right now? I floated it on LinkedIn, and it was showing, I can't remember the headline that I put on there, and I literally says, so what niche should we be in now? That's all I said. What niche should we be in now?
Yeah.
This right here is changing everything, everyone. Keep your eyes open. Yeah. It's going to move at breakneck pace. Now,
yes,
I tell you what, the two business guys, we're masterminding about. And it's going to, and I think we should probably shift our narrative how we then can harness it, period.
Yes.
You know, over at Our Bridge
awesome.
Business Institute, man, this is, I am literally, even Monetize Your Life Academy is I think it's changing to Monetize Your Life AI. Monetize your life with AI, right? Still got the Mila, but it's monetize your life with AI, right? With monetize your life with AI for people over 40. Monetize your life really, because I'll give you an example, and we're going to wrap it up, y'all. With people that are older, they've accumulated massive amounts of information in files and all this kind of stuff. Here's something I did just the other day, Rob. This is going to freak you out. So I took a couple of PDFs that I had on my computer, and hopefully y'all stayed around to the end to just hear this. I took a couple of PDFs, older ones, like stuff that I, forgot about. Took 2 or 3 of them, put them into ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT because it allows me to put a whole bunch of information in there, and I pay for it, right? I pay for the ChatGPT 4. And I says, hey, ChatGPT, take a look at all of this information on these PDF. It was writings, it was some random writings, some ideas, some walk and talks, all that kind of stuff. Look at this. And I says, I want a book, a 20-chapter book, only using these words. Do not plagiarize. Don't go out and grab no other words from the outside, just from here. Just from all these. I says, now, you can structure it the way you want to, but here is the basic topic. I want H1 and H2 headings, but only pull, and I said it like 3 or 4 times, only pull from these words inside. You can mix and match, pull. Now, that's how we should be using. And bro, this thing kicked me out a 29-chapter book. Now, I had to, so everybody that's listening to this, this is where you're a little bit older, whatever, you've accumulated all these little bits and pieces of information, how you can repurpose that now. All these ideas, that's another one I did. I took some ideas and says, make this make sense. Put it in the right order. Here's what you should be thinking about. Here's the grade level I want it to be written in. Here's how I want the headings to look. And then afterwards, do a table of contents. Are you kidding me right now? Now, I could have also instructed it, and where appropriate, use DALL-E to create an image that goes along with that. But I just said, I just want to see if this works. So I sat there and watched it. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. And I says, do this. It started creating, got 3 chapters in, stopped. And I said, continue. It continued. And then I looked at it and it says, the chapters are thin because it has a tendency to give you 5-paragraph chapters. And I says, no, each chapter should have at least 1,000 words and only use what's in these PDFs. So that it's your stuff. So it continued 29 chapters later or 26 chapters later. My book is done. It took me 45 minutes. Came from my stuff.
Yep.
And I had junk stuff in there. So now I'm looking at it. I'm going, well, that's good. I don't have no editor now. I don't have to deal with that. So table of contents done. Next is put it in a format. Let's send it. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it there. Now, let's take this apart. And I says, create this, and this from.
Mhm. Mhm.
Bro,
That is the
that
power.
game changer, everybody. So imagine if you're like you're in your 40s, 50s, and you've done some stuff. You've got some knowledge beneath you, and you just sit there
Mhm.
for the rest of your life and repurpose using
There
your
you go.
GPTs. Repurpose.
Now here's the key. What are you going to need to be able to do that? Literacy.
No, you're just gonna need a GPT that's literate.
Yeah,
GPT,
you're going to need
and
to know.
get this.
You're going to
I told my
have the
GPT.
literacy of the GPT.
I told him to get rid of
You
all
got
the
to prompt it
ums,
right.
get rid of all the
Yep.
ahs, get rid of all the mistakes,
Hmm.
get rid of all the squiggly red lines. So
Yep.
now I don't
There's
have
going
to.
to be AI literacy that's going to come too, because all of those
That
promptings,
part,
again,
Rob, yes,
because we've
you're
done
gonna have
so
that
much.
AI literacy, but
Exactly.
not computer programming
Exactly.
literacy, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's it, y'all.
Yep. All right. Talk soon.
See you next time.